The time that Shlomo reigned in Jerusalem over all Israel was 40 years, and Shlomo slept with his fathers, and was buried in the city of David his father, and Rehoboam his son reigned in his stead. Of the books called Kings, the first, chapter 12. And Rehoboam went to Shechem, for all Israel were come to Shechem to make him king. And it was when Jeroboam the son of Nebat heard of it, for he was yet in Mithraim, whither he had fled from the presence of King Shlomo, and Jeroboam dwelt in Mithraim, and they sent and called him, that Jeroboam and all the assembly of Israel came and spoke to Rehoboam, saying, Thy father made our yoke grievous. Now therefore make thou the grievous service of thy father and his heavy yoke which he put upon us lighter, and we will serve thee. And he said to them, Depart yet for 3 days, then come again to me. And the people departed. And King Rehoboam took counsel with the old men that had stood before Shlomo his father while he yet lived, saying, What counsel give ye me to return answer to this people? And they spoke to him, saying, If thou wilt be a servant to this people this day, and wilt serve them, and answer them, and speak good words to them, then they will be thy servants for ever. But he forsook the counsel of the old men which they had given him, and took counsel with the young men that were grown up with him, that stood before him. And he said to them, What counsel give ye, that we may return answer to this people, who have spoken to me, saying, Make the yoke that thy father did put upon us lighter? And the young men that were grown up with him spoke to him, saying, Thus shalt thou say to this people that spoke to thee, saying, Thy father made our yoke heavy, but make thou it lighter to us. Thus shalt thou speak to them, My little finger is thicker than my father's loins. And now, whereas my father did lade you with a heavy yoke, I will add to your yoke. My father chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. So Jeroboam and all the people came to Rehoboam the 3rd day, as the king bade, saying, Come to me again the 3rd day. So the king answered the people roughly, and forsook the counsel of the old men which they had given him, and spoke to them after the counsel of the young men, saying, My father made your yoke heavy, but I will add to your yoke. My father chastised you with whips, but I will chastise you with scorpions. So the king hearkened not to the people, for it was a thing brought about of Yahweh, that he might establish his word, which Yahweh spoke by Ahijah the Shiloni to Jeroboam the son of Nebat. And when all Israel saw that the king hearkened not to them, the people answered the king, saying, What portion have we in David? Neither have we inheritance in the son of Yeshai. To your tents, O Yisrael. Now see to thy own house, David. So Yisrael departed to their tents. But as for the children of Yisrael that dwelt in the cities of Yehudah, Rehoboam reigned over them. Then King Rehoboam sent Hadoram, who was over the men subject to taskwork, and all Yisrael stoned him to death with stones. And King Rehoboam made speed to get him up to his chariot to flee to Jerusalem. So Yisrael rebelled against the house of David to this day. And it was when all Yisrael heard that Jeroboam was returned, that they sent and called him to the congregation, and made him king over all Yisrael. There was none that followed the house of David, but the tribe of Yehudah only. And when Rehoboam was come to Jerusalem, he assembled all the house of Yehudah and the tribe of Benjamin, 180,000 chosen men that were warriors, to fight against the house of Israel, to bring the kingdom again to Rehoboam the son of Shalom. But the word of the God came to Shemaiah the man of the God, saying, Speak to Rehoboam the son of Shalom, king of Yehudah, and to all the house of Yehudah and Benjamin, and to the rest of the people, saying, Thus saith Yahweh, Ye shall not go up, nor fight against your brothers, the children of Israel. Return, every man to his house, for this thing is of me. So they hearkened to the word of Yahweh, and returned and went their way, according to the word of Yahweh. Then Jeroboam built Shechem in the hill country of Ephraim, and dwelt therein. And he went out from thence, and built Panuel. And Jeroboam said in his heart, Now will the kingdom return to the house of David. If this people go up to offer sacrifices in the house of Yahweh at Jerusalem, then will the heart of this people turn again to their Lord, even to Rehoboam, king of Yehudah, and they will kill me, and return to Rehoboam, king of Yehudah. Whereupon the king took counsel, and made 2 calves of gold. And he said to them, It is too much for you to go up to Jerusalem. Behold thy gods, O Yisrael, which brought thee up out of the land of Mithraim. And he set the one in Bethel, and the other put he in Dan. So this thing was become for sin, for the people went to worship before the one, even to Dan. And he made houses of high places, and made priests from among all the people that were not of the sons of Levi. And Jeroboam ordained a festival in the 8th month, on the 15th day of the month, like the festival that is in Yehudah, and he went up to the altar. So did he in Bethel, sacrificing to the calves that he had made. And he placed in Bethel the priests of the high places that he had made. And he went up to the altar which he had made in Bethel on the 15th day of the 8th month, even in the month which he had devised of his own heart. And he ordained a festival for the children of Israel, and went up to the altar to burn incense. And behold, there came a man of God out of Yehudah by the word of Yahweh to Bethel, and Jeroboam was standing by the altar to burn incense. And he cried against the altar by the word of Yahweh, and said, O altar, altar, thus saith Yahweh, Behold, a son shall be born to the house of David, Yoshiyahu by name, and upon thee shall he sacrifice the priests of the high places that burn incense upon thee, and men's bones shall they burn upon thee. And he gave a sign the same day, saying, This is the sign which Yahweh hath spoken. Behold, the altar shall be torn, and the ashes that are upon it shall be poured out.